All right, guys. So last time we checked in, it seemed pretty sure that Biden was getting ready to drop out of the race. There was a lot of chatter. He was obviously he's in this horrific decline, accelerated dementia, whatever you want to call it. You know, we're not doctors here, but he's clearly having a lot of trouble, and he's being shielded, and it's really not looking good. He does this interview with George Stephanopoulos to try to quell the rumors, or to try to figure out a way forward and prove to people that no, he actually can do it. And basically, what it showed to me is this is a man not only that is in a certain stage of cognitive decline or dementia, sort of elderly, just aging, natural process. He's also delusional, and he is convinced that he is the best person that is available in the country to beat Donald Trump at this point. And he's basing that off of his last performance. And he's not, and basically George Stephanopoulos, I was sort of surprised. He spent the whole interview trying to find a way to get into Biden's head and to try to convince him, like, hey man, you're not the guy. It's not the same circumstance. You're not the same person. You should really take a good look at stepping aside. And Biden is defiant, he's stubborn, and he's delusional. He's absolutely delusional at this point. He's getting the wrong information from every which way. And he is not in the same position that he was 4 years ago. He's not in the same position to pull this out and to beat Trump. And he's again, the word for this is delusional. So here's one of the questions.
If you can be convinced that you cannot defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
It depends if the Lord Almighty comes down and tells me that, I might do that.
Well,
if the Lord Almighty comes down and says, so literally only a direct line from God, if he tells you that, then that would be what convinces you. We're fucked.
I mean, on a more practical level, Washington Post just reported in the last hour that Senator Mark Warner is assembling a group of senators together to try and convince you to stand down because they don't think you can win.
Well, Mark is a good man, but we've never had that. He also tried to get the nomination too.
Yeah, and then he goes into saying, well, he tried to get the nomination, he couldn't do it, and I could, and all that.
These last few months, he's become a convicted felon, yet you're still falling further behind.
You guys keep saying that. George, do you know polling better than anybody? Do you think polling data is accurate as it used to be?
I don't think so, but I think when you look at all of the polling data right now, it shows that he's certainly ahead in the popular vote, probably even more ahead in the battleground states. And one of the other key factors there is it shows that in many of the battleground states, the Democrats who are running for Senate and the House are doing better than you are.
Well, that's not unusual in some states. I carried an awful lot of Democrats last time I ran in 2020. Look,
he always refers back to the last time. Last time I ran, this happened last time. He's lost. He has no idea what it looks like projecting forward into the future. And he doesn't recognize his own weaknesses. He doesn't see, he's not being exposed to what people are seeing and saying about him and how the country feels about him, because all the people around him are lying and telling him that it's not the way it is. And again, like that the emperor has no clothes, or does, or whatever the saying is.
I remember them telling me the same thing in 2020. I can't win. The polls show I can't win.
That's not true. And in 2020, everyone said he was going to win by a landslide. He was up by 5, 6, 7 points nationally. And that's how it ended up finishing. He won the popular vote by around 5%. And it was still barely enough to win because of the Electoral College.
Remember 2020, the red wave was coming. Before the vote, I said that's...
And then he talks about the red wave and all that. And basically his argument is, yeah, the polls don't look good now, but they didn't look good in 2020. And then we had a blue shift, a groundswell on election day, which is true. And you can sort of, I've been predicting that and expecting that to happen. But I'm factoring that in because he's still down 3 to 5 points nationally, and even more in the swing states. And you only get like a 3 to 4, maybe 5 point swing on election day, and you're counting on that, right? That's not guaranteed either. So he looks boxed in. In my opinion, he's boxed in electorally. There's not a path forward, and he's delusional, and he needs to step aside because this interview wasn't horrific, but it didn't help. He seems, combative. He seems delusional. He seems disconnected, and it's disturbing. At this point, it's disturbing, and I don't know where this ends. If he stays in, it sort of ends with him sort of fluttering or flapping and muttering his way through until election day and then losing. You know, I mean, I don't even want to go there. I don't know what I would do on election day if it was Trump and Biden again. Um, I would have to vote for Biden. You know, but I don't have the confidence that he would be able to pull it through. It's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So that's where we're at. Biden apparently staying in the race for now. We'll see how much pressure builds or what happens over the next few days, few weeks. We still have time until the convention when things are made official. So it's not like all hope is lost in terms of this particular election. So we will see. My prediction still holds true. I don't think it'll be Biden on election day. I think I see this as sort of another phase of the crumbling process. I don't know how, he says it'll only take, if the good Lord comes down and says it to him. Hopefully, he's just being corny and Joe at this point. But I just really hope somehow something gets through to him. I don't know what it would be exactly. If Obama and Hillary and all the senators and all the House, you need a coalition of the whole Democratic Party to come in and talk to this lunatic to get him to step aside because we don't have a leader right now. We don't have a leader. Lord knows what he's going to look like in a year from now, 2 years from now, and the overwhelming odds are that he won't make it through his next presidency, and that's really what people are scared about. That's what people are concerned about, and you just can't have that. So anyway, that's that for now. That's the update, and we will see you guys in the next one.